Totally, yeah. No, there's one thing is that there's so much innovation in the medical technology space that could be translated to something like ocean tech, which, I mean, ocean tech has a lot of innovations in it, but it's, uh, if anything, there isn't like endoscopy, for instance,
Right.
like in a hydrothermal vent or whatever, or dew worm or whatever. Um, So we have like a much more traditional set of tools that we're still using, and the innovations are like with AI and all this stuff, which is awesome. But there's a lot of like materials applications that could be translated to the ocean, and like like these endoscopes. There's a lot of like material innovations that get them to react properly to the body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, totally. Yeah.
There's a couple questions in the chat about just the sediment. Is the sediment deep enough for a core sample, and have cores been taken on this dive? I believe there was a core sample taken on this dive. Right, Chanel?
Yep, there's one core sample. I don't know how deep it was, though.
But yeah, the sediment here is probably deep enough easily for a core in this little valley saddle.
And then has there been any research into anything living under the seafloor or in the sediment, like worms and such things?
I don't think that's a focus of anyone on the ship at this time, but yeah, there's actually a lot of work that goes on in looking at the myofauna that's in the sediment.
And there's work looking at microorganisms in the rocks as well. There's little microorganisms everywhere you go in the earth.
Yeah, my PhD advisor actually specialized in subsurface microbiology for her PhD work, and it was super cool for to collect her samples. She went on these like giant ships that drilled cores into the seafloor, and they found communities that are like metabolizing, like microbial communities that are living there and metabolizing. So they exist, and there's a lot more research that needs to be done on them. And it's a pretty cool field to go into because you get to sail out to cool places and play with subsea floor sediment.
Yeah, I saw a talk by Craig Smith, who I think was a professor emeritus from the University of Hawaii, where he was talking about the biodiversity of the organisms that are living in these sort of abyssal plains. He was looking at the Clarion-Clipperton fracture zone, so in the sort of East Pacific. They were saying that the biodiversity that they were finding was sort of almost analogous to like a coral reef. There were just like hundreds of species, and they tended to be really unique from different parts of the fracture zone, so you wouldn't see the same species in one part of the area than you would in other parts of the area. And they were talking about it in the context of, you know, how do we regulate deep sea mining to, you know, future deep sea mining so that we don't eliminate a lot of this biodiversity that's lives in an incredibly stable environment, doesn't really get disturbed ever, and having big machines on the seafloor kicking up a lot of sediment would be a real problem for them.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it is. It's a really interesting area of study.
It's super surprising. Like, you wouldn't think that anything is actually living there.
Yeah, and they weren't even talking about, I don't even think they were talking about microbes. They were, you know, half a dozen different phyla of invertebrates.
Whoa.
So worms and bivalves, other kinds of mollusks.
life is everywhere. Except for my field site.
The McMurdo Dry Valleys in
Yeah.
Antarctica.
Yeah.
They have tardigrades.
Yeah.
There are tardigrades everywhere.
Tardigrades.
Official
so cool.
microinvertebrate of the state of Washington, by the way.
That's awesome. One of my friends studies tardigrades, and they study like the pressure, like how much pressure a tardigrade could withstand. And everyone knows tardigrades to be these like super resistant to dying, like living creatures that can live in space. And someone was like, how do you kill them? Like, how do they die? And just bleach, like bleach will do it, which was so funny to me because like they can live in freaking space, but then this common like household cleaner will take care of them. I mean, it's not funny, but
Yep.
it was kind of funny.
Now just imagine if they had little tiny paddles on their abdomens to swim, how funny that would be.
I would love that. It is, it's the fluffiness of them.
Get shrimp, but tardigrades.
You guys should just record and sell this laugh track. It's kind of amazing.
It's really good.
Breach nav 30060.
Sounds good. Yeah, maybe the next contour up we'll let it settle out again, and then
Okay.
right before we hit the big wall.
Yeah, so it was stable at about, I mean, it was stable at already 30 meters out or something,
Okay.
just like sitting.
Okay.
So a lot of this is just kind of built in.
Built-in layback.
Yeah.
Built-in layback. Raj.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're almost there, Kevin.
Doing good. We're
Nice.
starting to see a little bit of debris coming from the cliff. It's a good sign.
Roger.
Now that it's all limestone, we're gonna got lots and lots of loose rocks.
And we'll just take the cliff pretty slow, hey? And,
Yeah.
Feature presentation.
Future, present, future.
How's that candy wrapper sitting in your stomach up there?
Oh.
Burn!
I thought I was off SPL.
Best off-the-cuff question I've ever heard in my life.
little roughage.
For everyone online, that was, we sometimes pass around snacks to make us stay awake, and there was Reese's peanut butter cup that I thought I don't know, I couldn't find the wrapper on it, so I was confused. There was a moment of panic. Followed by disbelief. There was a lot of emotions going on up here.
I almost did exactly the same thing and caught it right at the last second. Oh, there is paper here.
Some were not so fortunate.
So clearly the game is to feed just about 4 or 5 without a wrapper, and then just set one down.
See if she catches it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so funny 'cause she turns to me like, after eating several, have there papers on these?
I only had one.
12 to 4 lunch. Late night.
Are there paper on these? Yeah. Oh. Uh-oh.
No, mine didn't have paper on it.
Yes, yeah, right. Jess didn't eat that much paper.
I didn't eat any paper. I ate no paper.
Oasis just had a unique coating.
My God, we need to get to the wall.
I will turn this ROV right around.
We're going to sit in sediment for the next hour.
Unfortunately for Jess, that's my job.
Really good. Great job, Chanel.
We've gotten to that part of the cruise.
Yeah. The contagious laughter part of the cruise, yeah.
So here's a question in the chat. Does climate change have an influence on temperature down in the deep sea?
Eventually, yes, but it's the communication between the shallow and deep sea is on a centennial to millennial timescale, so it's going to lag behind the surface temperature pretty significantly if it affects it at all. But most likely it will, but it'll be a long time.
There can be secondary other effects that will be detectable much sooner, largely through things like the biological pump, and that's the transport of material from the surface to the deep ocean. So if, say, your climate change effects are either dramatically or increasing or decreasing surface production, that will eventually trickle its way down to the seafloor.
Right, so you mean like there might be a decrease in marine snow?
Yeah, so if you end up with less productivity in the surface water, there can be a decrease in marine snow. If you end up with more, there could be an increase. And an increase sounds really good, but it can actually be bad because bacteria feed on all that material as it comes down, and that removes oxygen from the water. So a dramatic sudden increase in productivity can actually lead to low oxygen zones in the water column.
Here's another question in the chat. Is there any scientists on board testing to see if there are any traces of microplastics in the samples we collect?
I know Taylor, who is the science manager and a data logger on a different shift. I don't remember which shift she's on.
8 to 12.
8 to 12. She's working on microplastics. I don't know if she's actively collecting samples here, but her project is focused on microplastics in the deep ocean. She'll be a great person to ask if she's around.
There's another question in the chat about how long we will be diving today. So I believe our dive, we should be up by 8:30 a.m. So right now it's about almost 3 a.m. So another five or so hours, 5.5 hours.
That's right, 8:30 on deck approximately. That's Hawaii Standard Time. Post-breakfast, post-dives. post dives.
Post-breakfast, post-dives. Post-breakfast, post-dives. Post-breakfast, post-dives. Post-breakfast, post-dives. Post-breakfast, post-dives. Post-breakfast, post-dives. Post-breakfast, post-dives.
I like the Atalanta view where you can see all these things lurking behind Hercules.
I once saw a Dumbo octopus in the space between Herc and Atalanta. Nobody believed me.
Oh, I saw it.
In and out in just a flash. Well, mainly the SCF. I was like, let's make that a highlight. She said, yeah, sure. And then didn't. I could see her screen. She said, no stars.
No stars. Don't believe Kylie.
It's a great suggestion, Kylie. Ignored me.
I'm going to put in a log right here. Kylie lied.
Put a vision in there, please.
Invisible Dumbo octopus.
Bridge nav 30065.
That
Please.
looks like an eel to me. This doesn't have any dorsal fins.
Please save us, fish.
I think this is a cutthroat eel.
Oh, it's coming for you. It's going to mug you.
It's gonna mug me. Alright, go ahead and come a little wide there. Like how that's the go-to. Wide face.
Well, with a name like that, I mean, its reputation precedes it.
It would almost be upsetting if it didn't try something.
Just turn over a new leaf. Fin?
New fin, Raj.
Oh yeah, there's a jellyfish in the Atalanta view.
But no one's gonna believe you.
It's good.
My reputation is as a non-paper wrapper eater. Like, shrimp comedian is like attacked. Thank you very much.
Beautifully said. Nobody will believe you. Who's having a good time?
I'm feeling a lot of shade right now, guys. Glad you guys are all having fun.
Oh, it's the best time of my life.
So a viewer tuning into the chat is wondering if these marks we see in the sediment, if they belong to beaked whales.
No, these are just bioturbations, so these will be little invertebrate burrows of various types.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Have we seen anything coming out of any of these burrows? Like, I don't know, tentacles or, I'm
We've
thinking
seen
like,
some little tubes coming out of a couple of them, and it was unclear whether they were little snail proboscis or worm tubes.
Yeah, let's just see if we can get a little bit out of that swing still.
Yep, I'll hang out until you are happy with it.
Cool. Thanks. We see the wall. Or a sediment slope is one of the two.
It could be like a 60-degree sediment slope, given how this dive has gone.
Good thing we got a rock when we did.
Yep.
So there's not anything to really zoom on while we wait for the vehicles to settle out.
I mean, I think we could check out every single burrow here.
Do you guys want to look at a bird?
Yeah, let's go zoom on some of them.
Yeah, Reg.
There's a little fish up to the top as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's look at a burrow first.
Let's just go and knock on the door, see if anyone's home.
Should we knock with the craft?
Yeah, just go straight, keep going.
We're really getting desperate for this.
The Kool-Aid man. Just
Herc as sediment core.
It needed a bath anyway.
You want porch light?
I think that might blow it out. What do you think? Go ahead and push that in there a wee bit. Or all bit, you know.
Give it what you got.
So you can see the two little proboscis, but I don't know what the rest.
Oh, sorry.
Or tubes.
What is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I run a little wag left there, I guess. So go a little wide there. Yeah.
You think maybe fecal casts? Like
Go ahead and push on there again, please.
pile of poop?
I got you when you said fecal cast.
Thanks for the
Just in case.
clarification.
Yeah.
Thinking for maybe the people who are watching that don't
Alliteration
understand
makes a difference,
what,
yeah.
what a fecal cast is.
Is it just slimy, stuck together sediment from that was kicked out of the hole?
And what are those black grain things there? Are they little tiny snails?
Mustard seed.
Yeah, but you're right. They're two, I don't know if they are proboscis
Yeah, in the front.
on the left there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one big conglomerate of marine snow.
Yep.
Emperor snow. Snow could get it, because it's for the Star Wars fans.
From the,
moving
wait,
around.
from the Hunger Games?
Oh, well, yeah, but I was making a Emperor Snoke sort of, yeah. I guess you're right. Your reference is better than the one I tried.
Sorry, I'm not trying to. I was
Trying to
Also makes
one-up
it
your
worse for me.
reference.
Go ahead and come wide, please.
coming wide.
Alright, looks like they're slowing down. I'll just hop up one more moment. Thanks, for the zoom.
You need a car wash.
I need a car wash, yeah, for sure. I'll do a car wash after I sit down on something else real quick. Anything else you guys want to look at for another 2 minutes?
We can stare at this fish.
Nope.
All right, never mind. Let's go back to the sand. Let's go. We got tight close up on the sand.
Sorry.
We've seen enough fish, Kevin.
It gives very you missed your turn energy.
Go ahead and push on in there a bit, please.
That is a dark fish. It's like Vanta black. Can't even make out any features on his head.
We call this the out of focus fish.
We got a twofer on the still cam.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, that's encouraging. Let's go ahead and put on the torch. Maybe we'll see something different.
Oh, the shmoo's gone. Well, sort of gone.
Could this possibly be an eel? Like,
It's a lazy shrimp.
Go ahead and come wide, please. Alright, it looks like we settled out a bit here.
Yeah.
Characters on the
Yes.
floor.
Alright, I'm going to do a quick car wash, guys, before we get into actual good imaging territory.
Get all the auxiliary ballast off.
And I'll move it a little ahead before we call on.
Sure, yeah.
Stand by. Okay, come on.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Oh, so some wall right there. There's the wall.
Yeah, we've arrived.
See all the sediment coming off in the Atalanta view.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So there are a number of deep sea fish that have what they call ultra black skin that reflects less than 0.5% of the light it receives. They basically just absorb all light beams that hit it.
Yeah,
Makes them almost impossible to photograph.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Bridge
good.
nav,
Glad
20 meters, 065.
I thought it was me. That's really cool, though. They absorb light. It's like stealth fish.
You want me to turn towards you or just keep 6'5"?
We'll just keep 6'5". I'll come over a bit.
Raj.
All right.
Like a rock.
I'm trying to place that song.
We got a
Oh, like a rock.
It's Bruce Springsteen, right?
I just remember it from some 90s commercials.
Yeah, it's a Chevy commercial.
Yes, that's the one.
Go ahead and push
I believe
on
it's
there,
Bob
please.
Seger.
Bob Seger, sorry.
Go ahead
Anyways, there's cup calls or anemones on it.
there.
Oh,
anemones,
yeah.
The little anemones on the stalk.
Yeah.
Pull wide, please. I would assume an anemone would be detrimental because you're now weighing down and reducing the chances for it to get in a proper feeding orientation.
Possibly. Those stalks are pretty stiff, so might not affect it at all if it's down far enough towards the base.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, this looks like very cool territory.
It's beautiful.
bamboo coral there.
Go ahead and start a zoom there, please. Dive in a little bit tighter.
Squat lobster. Excuse me. Squat lobster.
It's okay, at least you didn't eat a candy wrapper.
Full wide.
If I had, that's what it would have sounded like. Just go one more hour, Jess. You'll be all right. It'll pass. But
Yellow crinoids.
Let's take a look at the crinoids.
Raj.
I'm gonna turn off everyone in my ears.
Shut it down.
Go ahead and fish on in there, please.
Got a pretty thick, well-developed borydoial crust here. More developed than we saw on top of the little volcanic cone.
Yeah.
Is that a sponge or some bacterial mats or
I think
what?
that's a sponge.
Sponge, Raj.
Oh, Atlanta's view is really cool. I want to cover it a wee bit faster, but
Roger.
I've spelled botryoidal. Botryoidal.
E-O-T-R-Y-O-I-D-A-L.
Thank you. I spelled it so wrong that it suggested
Botticelli.
no, patriotically.
That's impressive. Like, none of those letters are in it.
I know.
It is July 4th.
I also got laboratory.
Tim, you want to fish on Atalanta, please?
Computer was going, we're not sure what you're mashing the keyboard about, but here are some
Yeah,
suggestions.
based on recent Google searches. These are really nice rocks. They actually look potentially
Good for another
volcanic.
20 meters.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
all the loose talus is covered in sediment.
Bridge
so-
nav, 20 meters, 065.
Looks like a nice shot, clear in Atalanta. Maybe a highlight from the Atalanta view,
I would say so.
if one felt keen.
4
Put
stars.
that down as a, put that down as a rating 0.
Kylie lied again.
It's a very cool shot on Atalanta.
No loose rocks, no stars.
No, exactly.
So Kevin, is this one solid flow? Oh, there's a vein. I hadn't
No,
really
there's
seen.
actually layers. Yeah, you can see. That might be, if it is igneous, it might be a haloclastite. Kind of the top of the lava flow where it breaks up when it meets the water. It kind of becomes fragmented. And then other flows come on top of it. So assuming it's not limestone, it can be really hard to tell the difference between limestone and basalt when it's all crusted over.
I kind of want to suggest that the tilt is being twitchy and not just affected by movement. Because I was pretty calm there for a second, and it was moving without as much vehicle movement as I would expect it to respond to.
Yeah, so maybe it's just either something in the tilt slipping or the actual thing's loose.
My instinct is to say it is loose, but problems are compounding.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder, maybe try turning off the tilt motor power.
Yeah,
Maybe he's trying to compensate for something.
it's still gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then it's not it trying to, like, get some position, then it's probably just something in the actual motor or in the...
I don't know, but now it sits still, right? Like, I don't know. It's late. We'll check it on deck. Oh, Dan had me put a note in the red book to say that we would just swap it out with the other one.
With the other tilt motor.
That's what he said, yeah, so they could do some bench testing.
Okay.
If you're wondering why the view on Atalanta is a little bit
You can go for another move there, Chris.
jumpy,
Raj.
Oh,
it's
was that
Bridge
glitch on
nav
all cameras there?
20065.
I saw that across.
Kylie, want to check the
Zeus.
fiber values on Herc too?
yeah, I saw the tether come up in the HD on Atalanta. -10, -13, and top side receive -5.7, bottom side -5.5.
Okay. Tim, are we still partially zoomed on Atalanta?
We are.
Okay, just making sure. You can hold it there. Just
Okay.
making sure. Thanks.
Could we grab this rock, or are we waiting on a move?
Yeah, we can get it.
Let's see if it's loose.
Bridge nav, hold position.
Can you come wide on Atalanta?
It's actually kind of big, but we'll see.
Wide on Atalanta.
Thank you. Power's on.
Roger.
Waiting on comms.
Roger. Pull rack back. That looks kind of in there, hey?
Yeah.
Well,
Which one? The
one-
big one
Yeah.
on top of the laser?
Yeah.
Raj.
Kevin,
Sorry.
Yeah.
I oofed.
I don't think this one's gonna go.
Just checking. Give it a good old college try. Anything else you want me to poke around?
I mean, if you can poke at this pile, but I don't. That all looks pretty cemented.
That looks pretty in there, hey?
Yeah.
How about, I'm gonna wag my head up a little bit.
Sure.
Nah, nothing on this feature.
Roger.
Thank you.
Raj. No problem. Thank you. Hold on, I'm just gonna fix that.
There's a message in the chat about the blackfish that we saw a little bit earlier. Since it's always black at this depth, what is the advantage of absorbing 95% of all
What'd you say?
light?
Hey, Kevin, what about this one here?
Oh yeah, I was off FTL. Yeah,
Sorry,
let's poke it.
Great.
So the advantage of absorbing more light is that a lot of critters down
Just waiting
here
on comms.
Raj.
produce bioluminescence, and being able to absorb that would keep you invisible.
Okay.
I'm going to secure the bender here. It's getting 157. Bender secured.
Raj.
Should ISO one time.
No, sorry.
Aw.
Maybe while we're here.
I think that one's pretty. Try taking the claw and trying to rake it down on the knobby one over them.
Give me.
Right. Yeah.
What if I accidentally kick it into the camera?
I think the water will dampen it.
Okay.
Alright.
What about here? No.
Nope.
Okay.
Alright.
Good effort, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Go ahead. Alright. All good. Nice. The ground fault's getting worse on the crowd.
Raj.
Okay, Chris, you're clear.
Bridge nav 20065.
Thank you. Alright, same. I'm gonna do a little car wash, so just get us some better imagery. You guys can kind of see it go off on bubble there if you're really keen and interested.
I'm going to do a gauge check if that's okay. Or you want to wait till you're done with car wash?
1 sec, yeah. I'll
Yeah.
just take a quick look. Okay, that's good enough. Alright, go ahead. Thanks, Kelly.
No problem. Looks good.
Roger that.
Looks like a piece of debris, maybe?
Yeah, looks like a clock. Or a pipe. Go ahead and start your zoom there, please.
Paint can?
I don't know.
Some kind of can.
Yeah.
Looks like there's a leftovers of a label at the bottom left-hand corner there.
Yeah, I see that.
A little stamp looking thing. All right, go ahead and come wide, please. Do we still have to log and document any form of debris? Is that on our protocol?
I document it every time we see it.
Raj. Interesting.
Weather's okay.
Roger.
Here's a question in the chat. Whenever we come across a species, they are usually in very small pairs or by themselves.
Ready.
Why
We're
is
good
that?
For another one too, Chris, when someone's done.
Bridge nav 20065.
I'm not sure. Could just be happenstance and how we happen to be running across them, and they could just be widely spaced out through the seafloor area.
Tim, go ahead and push it on an Atalanta again there.
A big old sponge.
Oh yeah.
Apparently one of the previous watches came across a whole field of these.
No way.
Cool. All right, go ahead and start your zoom.
Is this a fiber optic one?
Yeah, this is one of the fiber optic ones. These stalks can apparently get quite long.
Want lasers off?
Sure.
Raj.
Go ahead and push in a bit more there, please. I can't tell if Porch is going to blow it out or not.
You want to find out?
Yeah, let's find out.
Yeah.
Go ahead and push in a bit more. Oh, sorry. Huh.
This one looks like
Go ahead and come
there's an opening at the bottom, but probably not. It's just kind of shaped that way.
Yeah, I think that's just the overall shape of that sponge.
Thanks, Gabby.
No problem.
Anemone on the underhang there.
Yeah, we got some anemones on the underhang.
Yeah.
There's a big crinoid. And a beautiful glass sponge.
Whoa, that is beautiful.
Oh, wow.
You get a zoom on the sponge?
Yeah, sure thing. Go ahead and start your zoom in there.
She's pretty.
It's very pretty.
I don't see any shrimp.
Go ahead and push on in a bit tighter. Just look at the texture for a minute.
Little spicules on the outside.
Yeah. Go ahead and come a little wide. That should be good there. A little heart.
You guys want to place bets if there's an associate in there?
Yeah, I'm sure there's somewhere, but I can't see it.
Yeah.
Maybe that white bit right there.
Very, very tall.
It's beautiful.
Go ahead and come wide, please. Nice, dramatic, slow wide.
Getting better.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm doing great.
Honestly, Tim, you could have fooled me that you did this for a career.
Thanks. Sniff.
Ready for another one, Jess?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Bridge nav 20065.
Put the lasers back on.
Roger. Thank you.
No problem.
Going to lighting. It's cool Atalanta shot again.
Really cool. Rock feature.
It's got very angular fractures and breaks.
Yeah, but it's also very massive, making me think maybe it's limestone, but it's hard to tell. Here's where a chunk broke off. There's a tunacate on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of surprised there's not more coral on these ledges.
Yeah, it seems pretty good.
Go ahead and push on in there on the tunicate.
Well, I mean, the tunicate's a predator, right?
It's just a very effective tunicate.
Between him and the cutthroat eel, it's not a friendly neighborhood.
Yeah. I'm just going to drive down the real estate.
Go ahead and push in a wee bit tighter.
Did I ever tell you guys my $1 million idea about tunicates?
You better do it now.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Be careful, it's over SPL though.
I know.
This is
but
Tim's IP.
Does this count as a public disclosure though? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, since they accumulate vanadium, which is a heavy metal, just out of the seawater in their, well, some species do, in their tunics in that outer layer. That kind of leathery outer layer that they have is like, wouldn't it be amazing if you found like the one tunicate that actually does that with gold, like the trace amounts of seawater, of gold in seawater? Because then you could have like, you could just sort of breed that tunicate.
Push on in there, please.
Wondering if those rocks are loose enough.
Ooh,
But yeah, that's a great idea. Little alchemist tunicate.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, can we try to grab one of these rocks?
yeah, sure thing.
Looks promising.
This one looks like a little snail cell.
Yeah, come full white there on Atalanta, please.
Why don't Atalanta?
I guess we're already stopped, so it works out pretty well.
Crafts on. Light on.
Yeah, Kevin, we pull this off, we eat like kings, right?
We eat like tunicates.
Given how slow things grow in the deep sea, does that mean this is like a 2 lifetime project to get like a micro ounce of gold?
Micro.
You know what?
Got Meredith's bringing the reality.
We're not even at the beta testing phase yet.
Playing the
so-
long game, yeah.
This is why you invest in us now.
I'm gonna
Exactly.
see
Get in on the
better
ground level.
again.
Sorry, I forgot.
Oh, you're good.
Don't tell anybody else.
There's that one back in there, or we can get the one that's, do you see it next to the still cam there? Which one do you see? Which one do you like?
The one next to the still cam. Whichever's easier to grab. They're both about the same, I think.
Okay, well, I can check for both. Go ahead, go ahead. It's stable here. And by stable, I mean I'm floaty, but. They want the angular one inside.
That one?
that
Yeah,
there.
ideally, but we'll see if that one's in position. It's kind of big.
Let me get a different hold on it.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, that one seems
What
open.
about the one right where the head is now?
Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of blocked.
Which one?
This one right here.
Oh, hold on.
All right. I'll go up for you.
Thanks. Give me, hold on. Let me try it one more time. No.
This crinoid's like, I'm out. See ya. All right.
What
Stand by
about,
there.
are these over here too small?
No, anything you can move at this point.
Something,
There was also one. Sorry, Kevin.
yeah, I'm listening. Oh, and you're, okay, fine.
Yeah, sorry, I'm turning away from it. There was one right here. I'll put the lasers on it.
This one?
I mean, it's just whatever I touch that moves, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
right
was-
with the lasers on it. No, I think that one might move. Sorry for the thruster wash. No, hitting you. Maybe, maybe not.
Crinoid, get out of the way.
Maybe not, yeah.
No. Ah!
Okay.
All right, that was a good effort. Thank you.
How about,
What about that guy back there in the
Yeah, if you
sediment?
think it will move.
yeah, let's try over here.
Okay. I'm just gonna push around for a second. No. No.
Those didn't budge at all?
No. I just need to re-index.
Okay. Oh no, that's just me. All right.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Just.
Yeah. I can't believe it here.
Okay.
You want to kill the hydraulics?
Yeah. We done?
Yeah, I think so. All right. Yeah, we'll keep our eyes peeled. And we're making small enough step sizes that it should be okay to do it whenever.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
I'm not gonna look down just because it's
Oh, yeah.
precarious. So
Totally. I'll just get out in front.
thank you.
All right, Chris.
Bridge nav 20065. Bridge, that was a 20 meter move.
Was it dialed in as 200?
He said he did 50.
Reg. Reg.
Which probably would have been okay, but
Just, yeah, we'll just
we'll do 2, yeah.
lower
20.
it.
Gotcha.
Little anemone there.
I think it's one of those tube anemones that we've been seeing over in the sediment, but
Yeah, it looks like one of those little tube anemones.
The sonar is interesting. It's in like stacks. Do you guys see that? There's like 3 stacks of these features.
Yeah.
It's like almost steps.
Kevin, remind me how those botryoidal surfaces form?
So ferromanganese can only adhere to slightly charged hard surfaces like basalt or limestone.
Right.
It can adhere to fine sediment. So when you have sediment like a light coating, it'll grow around it, and eventually it'll just make little pits where the sediment is, and then grow, around it, and so you end up with this kind of bubble-like texture. This is a cool looking feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, some dramatic cliffs, no coral on it. It's surprising.
Any ideas as to why that might be?
Maybe too much sediment. It's just a fine dusting of sediment. Can we get a zoom on the fish?
Sure.
Yeah, my guess would be either there's
Try to
too
push
much
it in there.
sediment deposition in this area, or we're just not in the right current flow regime.
A cool looking dude. So it's a
Yeah.
fish.
You want to push it a bit more on his face. It's cool.
That's a really nice view of that halosaur.
They're working the camera.
Knows all his angles.
Oh,
It's got big eyes.
Just posing for us.
oh, cute.
Yeah.
Oh, so cute.
Can we take him?
He's really nice,
Come
yeah.
back, Sorry, I don't know why that was so adorable. I think once his like side fins started going out, you're like, oh, he kind of looked like a puppy dog.
Yeah, yeah, he did, yeah.
It was totally smiling too.
Highlight.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and get that footage.
Yeah. It'd be pretty cool if there was like a, something we came across such as that decided to be our companion for the rest of the dive. You know?
Yeah.
Guiding fish.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, I'm ready for you again.
Bridge nav 20065.
There's a question in the chat about Herc's camera. Did Herc get a new main PTZ camera?
No, this is the same one we've had for a while. We went and got it serviced,
Oh.
but that was it. Yeah.
The Zeus.
It was kind of fascinating. And when was that? December? Yeah, December last year. Anyway, there was like some concentric pressure rings along the dome of the HD camera, along the lens dome, which made fantastically interesting cracks. but also, no, like in the most sincere way possible. It made very interesting cracks. Then we sent that into deserviced by Insight Pacific, but it's very thick, that material of glass, like half an inch. Okay, not half, but like just about half an inch thick. Fantastically polished, beautiful.
Tim, you want to put on bubble cam and I'll look at the HD?
Sure. Let's go.
You tell me when you're ready, and I'll ask Jessica if it's a good time.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Bubble cam's up on channel 3.
Okay, don't look too hard. It is going to be nauseating. Do slow. So Jess is talking about that lens, that
Dome.
dome, yes.
Yeah.
We just have a little, like a plastic guard around it to keep it from getting scratched on anything.
What about, do you want to push on in their center screen, please?
You want to try poking them?
That's good.
It looks like just crust, though.
Yeah, it looks like it's in there, hey?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep my eyes out still.
Anyway,
Thank you for looking.
the lasers are, oh, you can see them right there. The lasers are mounted on the HD, so they move at the same time, like little eyeballs. Okay, going back to porch.
Roger.
Breach nav 20065.
Kevin, I know there are probably 50 different kinds of basalts, but do volcanoes, volcanic activity ever create anything that isn't basalt?
Yeah. You can have much more evolved compositions. So in these seamounts, you typically don't find anything like that. But in continental settings, when you have like arc volcanism, like the Cascades, you can get rhyolite, which is essentially a high silica igneous rock. And the way that happens is if you have a long-lived magma chamber, you can crystallize out certain minerals in the magma chamber, like olivine and pyroxene. They'll sink to the bottom. Then the residual melt in that chamber is going to become depleted in those elements and become more enriched in other elements because of it. And so you end up building up what's called silica, potassium, things that don't want to go into crystals. They want to stay in the melt. And so then you can get a variety of different kind of eruption dynamics from it. The more silica they have, the more viscous the lava is, so it doesn't flow long distances. So you get thinner, higher cones instead of these large shield volcanoes. And you can get, of course, explosive eruptions if you have a buildup of volatiles and this kind of viscous, hot, not very hot, kind of cool viscous magma that doesn't want to move. You can build up a lot of volatiles until it just explodes. And that's what you get, your Mount St. Helens and Yellowstones, etc. But for seamounts, you just get a range of basalts typically. And then, yeah, you can subdivide these into lots of different categories based on chemistry and mineral composition.
Little something in the brow cam.
Oh, an enemy.
Yeah.
You want to push in on Atalanta a bit there, please?
Skinny fish.
So tempting to want to use the tilt, you know?
It's too bad.
Oh, yeah. Way too bad.
A little Norbit shadow on top of Herc.
Yep. Little magic horn.
It's a unicorn of the deep sea here.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start coming up here again.
Bridge nav 20065.
Are we saying then that Norbit is what gives Herc its power?
Yes.
No.
To see very far.
No. No, Norbit Cowboy over here is going to raise his day rate.
Make it perfectly clear, Herc was fine before Norbit.
Happy to have Norbit, but we're perfectly fine without it too.
This is where Chris pulls up the incredible map that Norbit has been making of this wall feature.
Yeah.
I think this might be broken off, hey?
Yeah, it's very big, but maybe right above it too.
Yeah, you want to hold position here, Chris?
Bridge nav, hold position.
Okay, sense and
Pop
bender
that guy on the porch.
off.
Can I come full wide there, please?
On Atalanta.
Yeah.
Full wide on Atalanta.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. Alright, we're full rack back. Got some porch here going.
I turned off the bender in the sense.
Roger.
And I'm just waiting on comms.
Roger.
And I got some comms.
So the one that's Kylie's gonna go for, that looks like a pretty viable sample for us.
Yeah, I think you can fit it. I think F or E or one of those is open F, maybe.
Tantalizingly close. Sorry.
Well, we'll see
No,
if
I
it
just
moves
needed to
before I get
re-index, that's
excited.
fine.
Roger.
Also, F and D are both open.
F and D, Rog. Oh my goodness.
Give me the rock. I'm sick of this.
God damn it, Norbit.
I'm not letting go. Okay, I'm letting go. I don't like that.
Wow, okay, interesting.
I think you pulled it so hard you got an avalanche above you.
Not funny.
Alright, well that's...
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're very good. Was there any down here at this, like the pit of this cliff that we...
There are a few potentials, I don't know.
Is it worth waiting for this
Yeah,
slush?
probably not.
Roger. Okay.
I'll say there was an interest in zooming in on the stick to the side, but I don't think it's going to be a while.
Sorry. Lo siento.
Oh, all good. We're trying to get some samples. Actually, you want to keep it out? Maybe there's some more up here.
Sure.
What about these guys here?
Sure. At this point, I feel like, you know, anything's a fair shot.
Yeah, maybe not those actually. Those look, These? Kevin?
Yeah, you can try them. We try to push it.
Yeah. Staying down
No.
now. Roger.
What about the one above it?
Maybe not.
Never mind, Raj.
Yeah, never mind that
What
one.
about these guys? On the lasers, just below the lasers. Oh, we're going, Raj.
I think those are in there.
You can't tell till you touch it, Jess.
Yeah, it's true. Seems like everything's in there.
I agree, but we're gonna get Kevin a rock. We've got 13 minutes.
As we're rock hunting, there is also an interest in zooming on any of those other anemones if we see another one.
The ones in the sediment?
Yeah.
Okay, sure thing.
Another sponge.
Yeah.
Straight ahead.
What about that one that's like sticking up there?
Sure.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
And it's right next to an anemone, so we can get two birds again.
Do you want to go for the zoom first before I mess this all up?
I was just about to suggest that.
Sure. All right. you want to look at the craft in the bubble there, and I'll take the HD for a sec?
Yeah. I'm halted. I'll just wait here.
Go ahead and push on in there, please. I'll do a bump down.
An interesting base. Oh, I guess that's a shadow.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. Come wide, please.
Okay.
I'll hop us to leave it up there since I'm a little far. Okay.
Oops, sorry.
You're good.
Here, hold on. Let me just really give this a fair shot.
Yeah. Or maybe the thing behind it.
Yeah, I'll try either. Try all. I won't try anything if I do it like that. No.
Oh, or maybe that one there, too.
One rock at a time.
Roger. Are you
Happy to try all your suggestions. I just get, okay. No, okay. This one over here.
Yeah. Maybe.
No.
Hmm.
Anything over near the other side?
Yeah, I don't think so. All right, Kevin, we'll just keep our eyes out, yeah?
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. All right.
So we are approaching the steepest contours of the dive, but in interpolating what I've seen so far and modeling what I expect, I'm going straight to bed after this one.
Roger.
All right, we're gonna do another car wash here real quick. Stand by.
What do you mean when you say car wash?
See the stuff coming off? We're like, Jess is changing the heading, like sort of like wagging like a wet dog. No offense. To the vehicle, Jessica is driving the vehicle such like, the vehicle's a wet dog, and
Go ahead and for another move there, please.
and it's
Bridge
like
20065.
getting the sediment off the bottom of the vehicle. You can kind of see it coming off in the bubble cam off the porch.
Channel 3. Yeah.
So we just call it a car wash.
A little SETI wiggle.
That's cool. So it's just done by wiggling. I thought there was like some apparatus blowing it, but I don't know.
No, it's just moving.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just, you can kind of see it kind of kicking out the porch there now.
So satisfying.
Kinda, yeah. Very. And if we hand over to the next watch and we have a bunch of sediment all over the place, they won't be very happy with us either.
Yeah. It's not so bad with this this type of sediment because it's coming off quickly and we're moving through it and it's all okay, but sometimes it's mud and it doesn't want to come off, and sometimes it just is so fine it lingers around the image for a while, so you can't see anything.
Yeah.
Does it ever affect like the buoyancy of it and your ability to like bring it back up? Like, does it ever get that heavy?
No, yeah, no, it doesn't get that thick on there. Yeah, it's only probably a few pounds, if anything.
Cool.
Yeah. I'd imagine the sediment's actually somewhat, not floaty, that's not the right word, but it seems slightly gelatinous, you know, so not very dense.
That makes sense.
What distance do you try to keep Herc with the, in between Herc and the seafloor?
Depends on how we're running it. If we generally try to have an altitude of around 1.5 to 2 meters or so. Depends on if the slope's rising in front of us or if the slope's falling, you know. And in this case, it's just whatever gets us good visual contact with the walls. So yeah, it kind of depends on the slope, or it certainly depends on the slope and the lighting. And yeah, if it's heavily sedimented, then we also change how we fly so we don't kick up a bunch of sediment.
Do we want to poke those rocks?
Sure.
Happy to.
Excellent.
Bender and sensor off.
Right.
Your jerky almost just made me slip.
Looks like a glass bottle to the left.
Glass bottle.
Craft power is on.
Roger.
Just waiting on comms.
Roger.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready.
All right.
Oh yeah, I see it. A glass bottle.
It might be a can. It's hard to tell. It's definitely green.
Yeah.
Definitely human.
Okay. Anywhere? Anything?
Yeah, just start poking.
Okay, Raj.
I'll come up here a little bit. What about right above your wrist there? Yeah. No. I gotcha.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to need to come up, guys.
Raj.
That's fine. Yeah, these look pretty in there anyway.
Yeah. All right. I think we're going to stow the arms since we're going to hand over anyway.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh.
Thanks for the watch, guys.
Thank you. That was fun. And silly.
So we're heading into a watch change. We hope you enjoy the next watch team.
8 bells, as the sailors say.
All right. Once we get up on the top, I'm going to do another car wash so that a lot of that sediment. ROV handing over.
Hey. Going up comms.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending where you are in the world. This is Delta Dan of the Benthic Storms on the new watch change. Coming at you live. Happy birthday, America. It is July 4th. It is also my mom's birthday, so happy birthday, Mom. I hope. If you have any questions that you'd like to have answered, go ahead and go over to our website at nautiluslive.org. You can put those questions in the Q&A bar, and we'll do our best to answer them.
Alrighty. I got you, Dan.
Yeah, loud and clear. Can you hit 5 on the bubble count?
Yes,
Yep.
I'm here.
I'm going to do a little maintenance here.
Alright.
But we can move wherever while we're...
Okay.
Alright, can we discuss a little bit about the plan for the next few hundred meters here?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
So can we kind of move HiPAC back towards getting waypoint 5 in the screen?
Yep.
Just so I can see what we've done. Okay. I think going to the north might be too far out of our way. So I think what we would like to do is still go up slope here, but kind of lateral along the contours when we get to the steepest part of this slope. Yeah, so when we get to about there, kind of head maybe towards the south or southeast a little bit, and just
Okay.
see what the variability of biology is on this wall. We do want to make it towards waypoint 7 eventually, so going to the north, even though it's steeper, might not be the best idea. So let's head up slope a little bit more and then kind of lateral along the contours towards the south.
Okay, sure.
This car washing and manip, not ground faulting. That went from 115 to 10 mega homies.
Nice.
Sometimes you just got to get Western with it.
Sure, go for it.
All right. We're going to start off with our first question from Matthew. That's a cool name. I was wondering if you can go into a bit more detail about how you map out the ocean floor. Is it the same? Is it some kind of automatic process, or do you have someone working on that manually?
So we have sonars mounted on the hull of the ship, and we pretty much drive the ship back and forth, like kind of how you would mow your lawn. And we're pinging with the sonar. So we send out an acoustic pulse into the ocean, and we listen for the echo off the seafloor. And because we know the speed of sound in water, we can determine how far away the seafloor is. And that's how we do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And to the person who asked that, that's how we were able to go over these sea mounds and actually start diving.
As you can see, we have quite a bit of mud on the front of the vehicle, so and if we go backwards or are not going up while we're zooming, we're going to have a little debris in the video. As long as we're going forwards or up, though, I should notice it.
We are on the lookout for loose rocks. The last watch tried their best, but this is, we think, volcanic material. So any loose rocks or anything potentially breakable is valuable.
Roger.
So Brandon, what kind of flow would this be considered if we were to find a basalt loose enough to take?
Can I take a look at the sample binder for just quickly?
I want to say it's mostly sheet flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe some pillows, but
Okay. Not much.
looks like thinly bedded flows here.
Is it more common to see these kind of sheet flows down these sort of cliff faces, or can you find all types of flows?
You can find all types of flows. It's the way the slope is doesn't necessarily, I mean it does, but at this, at what we're looking at, it doesn't, there's no difference. You'd have to see a larger area to really see a good difference, I think.
Look down a little bit more.
Roger.
Careful, your camera might slide out.
What speed is the ship moving at right now?
0.3.
Okay.
It's these numbers here, Steve.
Okay, got it. Yep.
I don't know if you can see those from back
Yeah,
there.
I can pull it up on a different one. It's not our standard Grafana back here, but I can pull it up.
You may have thought that was Zeus tilting, but that was just a nosedive.
Cycle power to it.
Roger.
Yeah, tilt out.
Ah, tilt was off.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, that too. Yeah.
I guarantee it's not going to fall out of there.
Coming down here. Slowly but surely.
It's the bolts are probably loose on the rotary actuator, so it's just got some play in it.
Gotcha. Shrimp.
There's something inside it's coming apart.
So Steve, what have we collected so far in our samples?
I am going to toss that one over to data.
Kukui, what kind of, how many samples have we taken so far?
We have so far taken 12 samples. Yeah, 3 niskins, a sea pen, cucumber, a couple of types of coral, sea urchin, a couple of rocks, and a push core.
And how many samples can we take? What's our maximum load?
I'm going to toss that over to Steve. Or the maximum load on the ROV or for the permit?
Unlimited number of samples.
Unlimited,
Limited samples.
as long as we can get it back on deck. I'm sure there's a maximum mass of samples where it would be very challenging, if not impossible, to ascend, but we have not yet found that, as far as I know. That would be a great calculation to make, actually, now that I think about it, considering we're going to be doing a lot of rock sampling in the next few years.
How many rocks can you take before we start sinking?
Well, we can take 20 in our permit, so that might be a good maximum right there. Gonna have to start putting them on the porch.
Biology samples, as long as we can tell them apart, we can stack them any which way, any place, any slurp bucket. So we really don't have a huge limitation other than what's in our permitted restrictions.
Sure is.
Sometimes those slurp jars have come up resembling fish soup.
Fish soup.
All sorts of invertebrates in there in previous years. My first year on Nautilus, I think we captured about 30 or 40 hydrothermal vent shrimp in one of those jars.
Oh my gosh.
In one jar?
Same jar?
Yep.
At the same time?
Yep.
Wow.
It's pretty fun to look at, vacuuming up vent shrimp.
How did you get that many without them running away?
Vent shrimp are different, have different behaviors than a lot of the shrimp we've seen. They cluster around fluid flows near hydrothermal vents, and so they kind of form a carpet. And it's just slurping them up.
A carpet of shrimp, I don't know if that's disturbing or...
Just vacuum the carpet, sure, why not?
Just like your normal day, doing some normal chores, vacuuming the carpet.
Here's a question in chat. Why is the water oddly colder, 3.1 degrees Celsius or 37.6 degrees Fahrenheit? Shouldn't it be a little warmer, like around 4 degrees Celsius or 39.2 degrees Fahrenheit?
Nope. The temperature of seawater is typically related to the water mass that we're presently in, or that we were in at the time. So I don't know where we are depth, so we're probably somewhere in the midst of Pacific deep water mass dominates a lot of the volume of the water column up here.
So what's the... Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, as we move shallower, it'll get warmer, but as you move deeper, it'll actually get colder. A lot of the bottom water doesn't necessarily have to be 4C. That is the densest temperature for fresh water. But a lot of oceanic water masses are modulated by salinity, for example. So you can have colder water underlying, warmer water masses. But the density is still greater.
So then what's the coldest that we've seen so far? Do you know?
I think a 1.7 or so.
Is that Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Always Celsius.
So for those
You can
of
do
you...
Kelvin if you want to also.
That'd be 274.7 Kelvin. Or 74.7.
Something like that, yeah.
I think that sounds right.
So for those of my American brethren at home that can't
Looks
quite
correct,
convert Celsius to Fahrenheit, that's about 33.8 degrees Fahrenheit. So Brandon, here's a question for you. I have a hard time picturing the underwater lava sheet flow. How does underwater basalt sheet flow differ from the basalt sheet flow on dry land?
So water's a lot colder than air, and it crystallizes the magma a lot faster. So the magma doesn't have a lot of time to cool down. Where it's like 10 times slower on land, or it's 10 times faster in the water. So you can imagine the, magma spurting out, and it's basalt, so it likes to flow. It's not overly viscous, and it just spreads out pretty quickly, and also solidifies quickly as well, on the order of several minutes to an hour, if that. It doesn't differ that much, I don't think. It just isn't as spread out because it doesn't have time to spread out.
So then how do you get these kind of like, these different sort of flows, like these pillow flows and these sheet flows and the other one that's name's escaping me?
So yeah, it's effusive speed, or, flow speed of the magma or lava. The faster it is, the more likely a sheet flow is going to form. So the slowest would be pillow basalt, and then lobe-y flow, and then sheet flow at the end. There's specific numbers that people have calculated using experiments and stuff in terms of meters per second, but I don't remember exactly. But yeah, you won't get, like pillow basalts are probably the most plentiful rock on Earth, at least on the surface of the Earth, if you count the bottom of the ocean as the surface.
I wish I'd need more power for that.
But it only forms in the ocean, so it's interesting.
So then with these volcanoes, someone in chat actually wants to know, how far does the heat from an active thermal vent and an underwater volcano, or how far does the heat reach from active thermal vents and underwater volcanoes reach before it gets dispersed?
I don't know. Do you know how far hydrothermal vents? I don't have much experience with them.
How far are they, what?
Yeah, I guess how
How far their
heat.
heat travels.
Yeah.
Oh,
Before it gets dispersed.
Millimeters.
centimeters, yeah, maybe.
Mm.
Yeah, very, very, very short distance. But the plumes can actually travel for hundreds of kilometers. So even though the temperature radiates out and becomes ambient very quickly, those hydrothermal vents often will cause some sort of vertical transport, vertical mixing, and so whatever contents, sometimes whether they be larvae from animals that are around the vents, they will become entrained in these vertical plumes that will extend up into the water column and usually hit a density layer and then expand laterally. So the potential range of hydrothermal vents more broadly, not just the temperature, but whatever fluids or chemicals are entrained in those plumes can be sometimes hundreds of kilometers away.
And so when this, when these hydrothermic vents and these volcanoes, when they start to push, with I guess hydrothermic vents, it's not so much magma, but when they start to push
hot fluids, dissolved minerals.
How fast does that happen? Is it very slow? Is it super quick?
It rises pretty fast in the beginning. Sometimes out of the plume you can see shimmering water, right out the top. If you're looking for a meter or more. So we look for shimmering water because shimmering water will usually indicate a density gradient or density differential between two types of water masses. So the hot stuff that's coming out of the vents, but also the cold ambient stuff that's around. And if you have that shimmering, the mushroom coral there, if you have that shimmering, you'll have some sort of transport or advection. There's a lot of different factors that influence that. The temperature at each of the vents is not consistent. Some vents can be hotter, some vents can be cooler.
So do you know where on Earth that would be more of the hotter hydrothermic vents?
Yeah, I'm not certain about that. There's a great book down in the lounge, I think, on hydrothermal vents. Some of the only ones I've really visited have been in the Cayman Rise. I think those are some of the deepest on Earth, and the temperatures were somewhere in the, I want to say 300 degrees C range, but that could be low. It's been a few years.
Google is our friend.
Anything here look loose?
Maybe this one right by the lasers.
Do you have time to poke a rock in?
Poke a rock.
I've been looking, thinking about it.
Nothing obvious.
Nothing obvious. Yeah. We're ready though. Kind of waiting for the dust cloud on the ROV to not be so, it'll settle out eventually.
Temperatures at the Von Dam vent field in the Cayman Rise are around 225 C.
Which is about 500 degrees cooler than the coolest magma, if you're curious. Felsic magma is about 700 degrees C.
That's a cool comparison.
Gibson, you hurt.
The hottest magma is at hotspots like Hawaii. Although Hawaii's weird, it's kind of cooler than other hotspots, but they can be like 1,500 degrees Celsius.
Then to answer that question in chat, would using a rock hammer to collect samples, would that be too awkward?
Please.
So would you want the ROV to hold a rock hammer?
Yeah, I'd assume it'd be a little too awkward, although Hercules' arm is pretty sturdy, so it can bump things around, and it's pretty easy to rip rocks up.
Problem is Hercules is floating. If you, it's like something floating in your pool or at the beach, you know, your beach ball. If you just touch it with one finger, it moves. There's not a lot of resistance, so when we reach out and touch something, it moves the vehicle. When we land, the only kind of, I don't know if you've ever tried to walk in deep water or in your pool or at the beach. When you're floating, it's your feet barely touch the ground kind of thing. Same with the ROV.
Newton's laws, everybody.
We can, when we're thrusting down, we're putting I forget what the vertical thrusters make. I'm drawing a blank there at the moment.
You mean in pounds?
Yeah. It's in the glossy brochure there, what the bollard pull of the thrusters is, but
If it was highly effective, you would find it on vehicles all over the world, you know, sampling rocks, tools. Still, the best thing to do is just pick it up. Pick up loose ones.
we do have a rock hammer that we tried on Hercules, and it was basically a ROV ejector.
Some mushroom corals there, Antimastis. Found a little pocket there. Oh yeah, what is that?
Quick zoom there, Dad.
Sure thing. Huh.
Oh, that's a lot
Oh
of
wow, look at that.
Anemones.
Ah.
Wow.
Anemone.
A gaggle.
A gaggle of anemones. Only one of them's closed somehow.
Predatory.
Yeah.
Wow. Atlanta altitude looks okay, but we're getting close to the ridge here.
I know that if these weren't so soft and squishy, I would love a sample of them. But it's not like they're cup corals. They're not going to pop off. You have to like shred them. How do you feel about trying?
We could scrape one off. Do you want to move the boat 40 meters to the west, please?
Yeah, anemones are really poorly described generally because they're often overlooked. They're difficult to collect. Pretty much generally, some of the more difficult things to understand using an ROV.
Look at the slip gun for me.
But
5 on the bow.
Yeah, roger.
Keep an eye on that.
Will do.
Vehicle of yours, don't let it hit the cliff there.
No cliffs.
Since there's several dozen here, it would be great if we could get 2 or 3 maybe.
Roger. I'm going to have to look down. I can't do this drunken bubble. You turn on the porch light for us?
Yep, porch light coming on.
Let's see how difficult this is before we start making grand plans.
Really? Sorry, swing and a miss here. Let's go to the flush jar and flush that thing.
Roger.
It's full of debris.
All right, starting flush now.
Zoom back in there now.
Sure.
Yeah, give it full beans.
Full beans. Oh yeah.
I can move her a little faster.
All right, flushed.
And then go to open jar.
Say again.
Find an open jar there.
Roger. Kukui, how's 6 look?
It looks great.
Heard.
Go wide for us.
You bet.
Approaching our red danger mark there on
And the delta?
the, no, on the suction line.
Ah.
Okay, zoom in there.
Mm-hmm.
Go, we can turn it up.
Roger.
75.
Coming on 75%.
A little closer for me, Dan.
Sure. How's that?
Yeah, should do it. This one wants to go first.
Yeah, they are more fragile than I thought. Great.
Oh my god.
Kind of imagines how I...
Speaking of vacuuming a carpet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Was a
kind of
shag
imagine...
just getting the dog hair.
How many you want?
At least 3 if you could.
Yeah.
Kind of like Ghostbusters.
Never cross the streams. But those of us at home